Welcome back, Weebs and Gamers. This is EIJI here, back with another deck profile. Today I'll be doing it on my different Bang Dream deck. Normally I've played yellow-blue on this channel for a while, but I decided to switch it up and try out this different build that I've seen online, which is mainly red. It's the 8-gate build. So I really like this build because it has the level 3 is a burn and anti-burn at the same time. Which is very strong in today's meta. Overlord also just got this in their new level 3 kind of package with standby and everything too. So I definitely feel that is a very strong strategy to have in WEISS. So and I've always loved anti-burn. I mean, I love Log Horizon. That's one of my favorite decks ever. So yeah, I wanted to try this build out, and allows you to do some pretty nutty things. There's some pretty good cards in here that you can't really play in some other Bang Dream decks, but you can in this one. So yeah, so that's it. Let's get to the deck profile here. So first thing we have is 4 of this Sio Bomb. So this is one of the few cards that's not a Poppin' Party in this deck. I'd say this deck is mainly Poppin' Party, but this card is just so incredibly good, and that it's just worth playing in here anyway. You don't really need like Poppin' Party requirement for most things in this deck, other than the level 3 pretty much. So it's not really that big of a deal. You can just tech zeros and stuff, so it works perfectly fine. And you also do need to play some amount of blue to allow you to play the blue cards that this deck plays. So yeah, so this is like pretty much perfect fit for that. Just allows you to out whatever your opponent has. Next we have 4 of the, I forget what this girl's name is, but it's basically just like the Cheery effect. When she's sent to waiting room, you can ditch one and look at top 4, take a level 1 or higher, add it to your hand. So that's pretty good in this deck, especially because it allows you to take level 1 events, namely the star event. So that's like pretty much one of the best cards this deck has access to that like the yellow-blue deck wouldn't have. So yeah, so this card just being able to get your event or your level 1 combo, or you know, whatever you want after that is very, very good. And I do only play 16 zeros in this deck, so I don't actually play like too many zeros, so most of the time you can hit off of that effect. And I do want to make a point of I have seen people playing this, it's like a Remy card. It's a new Remy card where it's like when sent to waiting room, you can pay 1, clock 1, and look at top 4 and take a level 1 or higher card. And I tried that card. That card is just whiffed so many times that I just refuse to play it now. Like, that card is so bad. Like, at least with this card, if you whiff, all you did was just discard a card, right? So it's like, sure, that sucks, no doubt, but it's not too bad, right? Like, whatever. You can recover in WEISS pretty easily from discarding a card. Like, you can just brainstorm, generate like +3 right away. It doesn't really matter, right? But paying 1 and clocking 1 from the top deck and then whiffing feels incredibly bad. Like, so to the point where I just refuse to play that card now. Like, that card, I just don't think that card is worth playing at all. Maybe if it was like an actual Ricky, like on play Ricky, it might be worth playing, I would say. But as it stands, just when it's sent to waiting room, I just don't want to play that card at all. I just think it's terrible. So yeah, next we have 4 of the Remy Brainstorm. So this is a pretty cool. In the last Bang Dream set, they reprinted some old school cards in their SSP art, their original SSP art. It's just not a signature, it's just not an SP. Yeah, so you get like incredibly good looking foils for basically super cheap. Like, this was like $4 each or something, right? So yeah, so I definitely all 4 cheap foils that look good too. So this is just basically just normal standard salvage brainstorm. Nothing really to speak of too much there. So I'm just gonna put these 2 cards next to each other because they're kind of the utility slots. So basically here you could play like kind of whatever you want. You could play like a drop search. You could play these. You could just play 2 Arisas. You know, it's kind of whatever. I'm trying these out. I actually didn't even know that this card had like a newer printing that's like a foil and is actually Poppin' Party trait, so I'll have to get a copy of that, because this card is not Poppin' Party trait, so that could matter in like some really fringe scenarios. But yeah, just the fact that there's like a new version that's Poppin' Party, might as well get it, right? So I'll have to replace that with that, but for now, does the exact same thing, pretty much. Just come and play, mill 2, you can give someone 15 if you hit a climax, and then just pay 1, ditch 1, salvage. And this is the EIJI'S pay 1, ditch 1, look at top 3, take anything. Just helps you get a climax or events, or because you can basically get anything with that, so that's really helpful. And then also I'll do these 2 together as well. So this is just the 2 climax swaps. Again, you could just play like 2 red or 2 blue or whatever, but I just wanted to have like 1 of each, because this does have mill 2, which is nice. This is just a 3k beater, which is nice. So just having both is pretty nice. Yes, that's the level 0s. Moving on to level 1, we have the broken set 1 Kazumi combo. Basically goes with gate, or door, red door. Just on attack, salvage the star event. And you can just loop this card like so freaking easily. It's actually disgusting how easy it is. Honestly, the problem with it would be looping the climax over and over, to be honest, because you do just play 8 gates, so you don't play like gate pants or something like that, right? Which would help you loop it more often. So just having just being 8 gate, you can sometimes whiff on just getting the climax, which is why I really wanted to play like at least 2 climax swaps, and plus the EIJI'S allows you to dig for 1 too. So yeah, so being able to just get this off as many times as possible and just like loop it every turn, pretty much all the way up to level 3. Really, you want to just be looping this card as much as possible, because it's just insane. Yeah, just all around amazing combo. Funny that it was printed way back in set 1. That's like 5 years ago. And then of course the 4 events to go with it. So this event is just when you play it, you brainstorm 3, and then you can salvage a music character equal to how many music characters you milled. So if you mill 3, you can just get whatever. If you mill 2, you can only get a 2 or lower, 1 or lower, right? So, but the really broken thing about this is that not only does it mill 3, whereas a lot of times more modern combos they only mill 2. It's also like as long as you mill at least 1 character from the mill 3, you can just get this back, because this is a level 1, right? And this is like what you want to get like 90% of the time. So as long as you just mill 1 character and don't whiff all 3 mills, you can just get this back and keep going and do whatever, right? So yeah, it's just amazing card. Allows you to burn through your deck pretty much whenever you need to. Usually always have at least like 2 or 3 in hand. A lot of the time, especially with 8 gate, I find I'm just like overhand half the time. So it's just ridiculous the amount of advantage you have in this deck. And the last level 1 is just this. This is like a bomb card. If your opponent has a higher level, you can. This is a kind of unique one, to be honest. They've been printing these. I've noticed in like a few new sets. This one is a memory kick bomb. So if their character is higher level and this gets reversed, you can just send their character to memory, which is pretty cool. Because you know some certain level 2s have encore, so it bypasses that. You know, if you could just memory key cards that they might only be playing like 1 or 2 copies of, kind of might screw them depending. And also it just has come in play. You can give one of your opponent's characters, they can't move for the turn. So if they have like a runner or some, I don't know, some random effect, you can just prevent it from running, which is pretty cool. Then moving on to level 2, we have 2 of this, the Saya back row. So this is also one of my favorite cards in Bang Dream from like a long time ago. And also finally it got this new foil printing for her SSP wedding dress, which is very, very nice. Love this. And it's yeah, just level support, and if you have an event in your waiting room, you can rest her and one other character and choose one of your characters, and your opponent cannot play backups or events from that in that attack. So it just allows you to, back in the day, mainly used for like Yukina, because you could just prevent Yukina from getting countered, or money countered, or any sort of counter really. Just allowing you to get Yukina off, no problem. But in this deck, it's not as useful, I would say, because your level 2 or your level 3 combo doesn't need to reverse. It's just like on attack, pretty much. But it does get countered by like memory kick counter, I think. So you could dodge that, or just money counter or whatever else you can just dodge. So definitely play 2 of this, especially with the amount of events you play. Super easy to get off. Then next we have 2 copies of the Perio combo. So this goes with the level 3 Choo-Choo, obviously. If you've been playing Bang Dream or you've seen Bang Dream pretty much in the last like year plus, you should know what these cards do. These cards are just insane. They go together very well. Just giving your level 3 like hexproof twin drive, all sorts of dumb effects. Yeah, but it is a double-edged sword, because obviously if you don't have both of them out at the same time, this card basically just does nothing. So, but with the 8 gate and all the salvage you can do, it's like no problem to get like the combo pieces you need, pretty much. Next level 2 is this is a new card, actually. So this is a Arisa. So this is a pretty cool card. So it's so our Bang Dream already had like the Arisa counter refresh card, which is on the pick list. So you already did have access to like a free fresh if you wanted to. And I do play it in my yellow-blue deck, that card. But in this deck, I'm actually not playing any of the pick 3 list, just because I can't find room for them, and honestly, I just don't feel the need to play any of them. All of them kind of like conflict with this deck's goal in like one way or another. So I just don't feel like none of them are needed, pretty much. I probably would play the Arisa counter one in this deck as well, just because it's good. But now that this card was printed, that card is basically not as useful also. So it's kind of just one of those things where like all the cards are just like not really needed. It's not that they're bad by any means, it's just they're not really needed. So this card is come and play. You can discard an event and then just refresh your deck. So you don't even need to have like 5 or less, like traditional like 2/1 on play refresh cards. You can just do it all the time. So if you just refreshed and you just like triple or quad cancel or something, you can just play this, refresh my deck, right? Nonchalantly, just refresh my deck. And it's just discard an event, which is a pretty cheap cost, especially when you're salvaging an event from your climax combo every turn. So yeah. And she's also a level 3 battler. If she attacks a level 3, she gets plus 6k, but she's slightly weaker than most level 3 battlers. Most of them are like 7k base. She's only 55, so she only goes to like 11.5, which isn't that great. But, if you have like the back row and climax and stuff, you can get her to like decent attack power still. But, yeah, mainly just for that refresh effect. That's like super good effect. And the last level 2 is just 1 copy of this counter. So I'm playing this counter mainly just because the blue counter that bottom decks that I play in my other deck, you have to discard characters for that card. And you would think, oh well, you're playing 8 gate, like discarding characters shouldn't be really that big of a problem. Like, well, you'd think that, but when you play a lot of events, you have a lot of events in your hand as well. Plus, if you're going to like level 3 kind of late game, you probably have your climax as well that you're holding. So discarding characters isn't always optimal, whereas this card, it's only a normal anti-change card, so it just like normally sends them to waiting room rather than bottom deck, but it allows you to discard any cards for it. So I feel that is a little bit more beneficial, especially when you're getting into the late game. You might not need the 1/0 event as much. So if you have just like one or two random of those in your hand, you can just ditch them for this to kill one of their characters potentially. And then moving on to level 3. So now we have the broken card, of course. Well, I don't know. I don't know if this card is like truly broken or not. It's definitely very good. And it's pretty much the entire reason you play this deck, basically. This combo and the level 1 combo, like this is one of those decks where like you're basically playing this deck because of the climax combos. They're just so good. So this card is, I kind of reference this card to like Marine from Hololive because she's basically a 1-cost finisher. So basically, instead of Marine, where you have to sack a character and then you can like look at 3, take 1, stock 1, and ditch 1, she is just the kind of traditional, like they used to make these cards on like, or this effect on early plays and like other level 3s, but this is the first one that I've ever seen that's like notably on like a really good finisher. which is just come and play, draw 2, ditch 2, stock 1 from the top of your deck. So essentially, as long as you have 2 stock to player, you can just draw 2, ditch 2, and then free restock 1 of the stock you paid. So basically just costing 1 stock to play. And then she just gets like 2k on your turn if you have like all Anniversary or Poppin' Party, which is like one of the slight reasons why you do need to play some amount of like Poppin' Party. Like obviously if you just field 3, then you meet the condition, but you know, if you only have like 2, then you'll need like at least some sort of like back row, the 2/1 or the Remy Brainstorm or whatever. As long as you have 2 or more other Poppin' Parties, she gets 2k. And then she's at the end of this card's battle, you can pay 2 if you have the Gate in play. Then you can burn 2, and she also gains the effect of you cannot take auto effect burn damage till the end of your opponent's next turn in battles involving her. So yeah, just crazy card. Basically the whole reason you play this deck, basically. But she doesn't heal, notably. Sort of like Marine, actually. Marine doesn't also heal. So you kind of want to play like some sort of like really good healer to go with it. And of course, Bang Dream's really good healer is this Choo-Choo. This card is just crazy. Yeah, I've already said with the 2/1 Perio, just gets Twin Drive, Hexproof, all sorts of dumb stuff. Usually it's just like 15k chilling at level 2. Like they're not gonna be able to kill that normally. So yeah, just insane. And the last event is just 3 of this 3-0 event. So this actually goes with the level 3. So unlike the Overlord one, where you just salvage it naturally from playing the combo, but this one you can't do that. You just have to like draw it or get it from the 2 from the level 3 play. But basically it's just this kind of the same thing. You have to have that level 3 in play to even activate it. And then that battle, you give their character -3 soul, basically. So, but the cool thing about this one is this one's just 3-0, whereas the Overlord one is like a 2-2. So, just allows you to like really conserve on the stock. I do find that like a lot of the time with this deck, since you can't build like a ton of stock, a lot of the time you're going in level 3 with exact 6 stock, which is exactly enough to do triple combo, and then you have no stock left over. But because this is a 3-0 event, you still have access to just play these and like survive another turn, which is pretty crazy that you can pull something like that off from just like 6 stock, right? I might play 4 of this, I don't know. I'm just testing it with 3 right now. And then lastly is just the combo. So we have 4 of the 1-0 gate and 4 of the level 3 gates. And I have the foils for these because it is a way better picture than the original art. Way better. And I have full arts for these, but I kind of wish I had foils for these too. Not gonna lie. But I do really like this deck. If you want to try it out, this is EIJI. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and catch you around.